Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a good week this week. So this week, what's popping and dropping is, I know, before anybody says anything, I know we just did one, but it's another shark pop-up card. Y'all, I couldn't resist. I just thought if I could figure out how to make this pop-up, it is so stinking cute to me. So yeah, that's what we're going to be making. So why don't we go ahead and head over to Design Space and I'll show you guys how we're going to make it. We'll see you there. Okay guys, now that we're in Design Space, I just wanted to let you guys know that below under the description, it is available to you. There are two SVG files. One is for Design Space if you use Cricut, and the other one is just an SVG file that you can download from Google Drive. And it will have all the pieces in there that you need to get the card started, just the basic pieces, and then anything you want to add to it. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that. So why don't we go ahead and get started. The first thing we can do is go to shapes, and we can get a square, and we're going to make it 10.5 by 6.5. Then we're going to go to shapes again and get a score line and make that score line 6.5 inches. And then we can grab them both and then go up to the top to align, and then align center, and then it's centered for us, and then we can just go down to the bottom under our layers panel and click on attach. Then we have our card base, and then I'm going to be using 3 pieces of pretty paper. They're going to be, 4 pieces of pretty paper. They're going to be 6.25 by 5. So you'll need 4 pieces of these. And then once you have your pretty paper, we can go ahead and group it together and move it aside. Let's get a triangle. We're going to make it 3.693 by 1.639. We're going to rotate it 179.99 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.719 and the Y at 1.374. And then we can go ahead and right click, duplicate that triangle. We're going to rotate this one 163.16 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.063 and the Y at 1. Then we're going to go get a half circle. We're going to make it 0.497 by 4.202. We can rotate it 62.5 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and the Y at 1.203. Now, the first thing we're going to do is click on our purple triangle and our yellow piece, and then we're going to go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then once we do that, let's highlight our yellow piece, go to contour at the bottom, and then we're going to get rid of this shape here. And then let's click on our purple triangle and our pink triangle, and we do that by holding the shift key on our keyboard, and then go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then we want to highlight the pink triangle, and then we're going to go down to contour again, and then we're going to get rid of this shape over here. So it should be nice and smooth right here now. Then the last thing we're going to do is click on our pink piece. It might be easier to click on the yellow piece first, and then hold your shift key and then click on the pink piece. And then we're going to go down to slice. And then we're going to highlight our yellow piece, go to contours, and then we're going to get rid of this shape here. And then we're left with something that looks like this. Oh, one more thing. Click on your pink piece again and go to contour, and then we're going to get rid of this big triangle at the top. Then we should have something that looks like this. Then we're going to grab it all and then go down to our layers panel at the very bottom and click on weld. Now we should have this. Okay, our purple piece I did adjust in height a little and width. I made it 4.614 by 1.835. The X is at 1.223 and the Y is at 1. And then we're going to go to shapes and we're going to get a half circle and we are going to make it 0.563 by 5.436. And let's rotate it 90 degrees. Then we're going to place the X at 1 and then the Y at 2.52. Then let's grab both pieces and we're going to go down to our layers panel and click on slice. And then we can just move it and then we're going to get rid of everything that we cut off. So we should have this piece here now. Now our purple piece, the X and the Y should be on 1 and we're keeping it the same size. But we're going to go to shapes and get a square. And we are going to make it 0.655 by 0.041. And then let's rotate it 349.43 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.39 and the Y at 2.563. Then let's grab both pieces and then go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then if we highlight the yellow piece, if we go over our layers, it's going to be easier that way. And you see this little piece here? We're going to highlight on it and then go down to contour and then we're going to get rid of this little sliver. Grab it all and go down to the bottom and click on weld. And then we have this piece here. Let's highlight it, go to contour, and then we're going to get rid of that little piece right there so we have a solid piece. So we should have something that looks like this. Again, make it gray. And this is going to be our shark arms, and we're going to adjust the size. We're going to make it 2.27 for your width, and it should change it to 0.903. And then we're going to right click, duplicate, and then we're going to flip horizontal. And then we have both of our arms, and we can group them together and go ahead and move those aside. Now let's go to shapes. We're going to get a pentagon. We're going to make it 3.917 by 2.667. We're going to rotate it 180 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and the Y at 1.239. Then let's go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 3.2 by 3.2. We're going to place the X at 2.97 and then the Y at 1. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on slice. Now we're going to keep both of these right here. So now we have both of these pieces. This one, the right side, we're going to keep as the same size. So we're going to just place the X at 2.943 and the Y at 1.216. Then the other one we're going to make a little bit bigger. So on your size at the top, go ahead and unlock it, and we're going to make it 1.956 by 2.873, and we're going to put the X and the Y at 1. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on weld. And we should have something that looks like this. Our X and our Y for our purple piece should still be at 1, but now we need to go get a square, and we are going to make that square 0.073 by 3.093. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.309 and then the Y at 1.392. Then we're going to grab them both, go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then on this piece, let's highlight it, go to contour, and then we're going to get rid of this shape up here. Now our purple piece should still be, the X and the Y should be at 1. Then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get a half circle. We're going to make it 0.444 by 4.222. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 0.965 and the Y at 0.636. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then we should have something that looks like this. Our purple piece, the X and the Y should be at 1. Then we're going to go to shapes and we are going to get a square. We're going to make it 0.056 by 2.347. Let's rotate it 30.61 degrees. We're going to place the X at 0.982 and the Y at 0.289. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Slice. Go to Contour and we're going to get rid of that sliver right there. So we're left with this piece. Now we're going to adjust this piece to 3.9 by 2.418. The X and the Y is at 1. We need to change the color to red because this is going to be part of the inside of his mouth. Then we're going to go to Shapes. We're going to get a score line. We're going to make it 2.187. We're going to place the X at 2.964 and the Y at 1.116. Then we're going to grab them both and go down to the bottom and click on Attach. And then we can move this piece aside. Now let's go to Shapes. We're going to get a square. We are going to make it 0.028 by 2.2. We're going to rotate it 91.56 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.276 and the Y at 1. Then we're going to get another square. We're going to make it 0.028 by 1.3. We're going to rotate it 1.26. We're going to place the X at 1.236 and the Y at 1.001. Then we're going to get another square. We are going to make it 0.3 by 1.382. We're going to rotate it 355.52 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and the Y at 2.126. And we're going to get another square. We're going to make it 0.027 by 2.117. We're going to rotate it 228.13 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.328 and the Y at 2.087. Then we're going to go to Shapes. We're going to get a triangle. We're going to make it 0.405 by 0.555. We're going to rotate it 344.68 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.078 and the Y at 2.247. Another triangle, we're going to make it 0.516 by 0.555. We're going to rotate it 336.56 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.147 and the Y at 2.096. Then we can right click, duplicate that triangle. We're going to rotate it 337.9 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.359 and the Y at 1.961. Then we can duplicate that triangle again. We're going to rotate it 337.9 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.633 and the Y at 1.837. Then we can duplicate the triangle one more time. We're going to rotate it 349.17 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.968 and the Y at 1.747. Weld this piece together. Let's right click, duplicate, and we're going to set this piece aside. Then we can grab it all and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And then we should have something that looks like this. Now that we welded this piece together, we are going to right click, duplicate, and then we are going to flip horizontal. So this first piece, we're going to place the X and the Y at 1. And for our right piece, we're going to place the X at 3.382 and the Y at 1. Then we can grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And then we should have something that looks like this. So let's highlight it, go to Contour, and hide all contours. And then we have this piece. Now we're going to place this piece, the X at 2.32 and the Y at 1. And then we're going to get a 2x2 square. We're going to rotate it 26.14 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and the Y at 3.088. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Slice. And then you should have something that looks like that. The X for this piece should still be at 2.32 and your Y at 1. And then we're going to take that same square we just had, we're just going to rotate it 34.79 degrees. And we're going to place the X at 5.687 and place the Y at 3.136. And then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Slice. And then we should have this. Our green piece, we're placing the X at 1 and the Y at 1.357. Then we're going to go get a square. We're going to make it 1.875 by 0.083. We're going to rotate it 330.65 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.305 and the Y at 1.133. Then we can right click, duplicate that square. We're going to rotate it 354.12 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.63 and the Y at 1.007. Then we're going to go to Shapes and get another square. We're going to make it 0.444 by 0.083. We're going to rotate it 70.77 degrees. We're going to place the X at 5.389 and the Y at 1. Then let's highlight our yellow piece and our peach piece. And then we're going to go down and click on Slice. And then highlight our yellow piece. And then let's go to Contour. And then we're going to get rid of that little piece there. And then let's highlight our peach piece and go down to Contour. And then we're going to get rid of this little piece right there. And then let's click on the yellow piece and then hit the Shift key and click on our purple piece. Then we're going to go down to the bottom and click on Slice. Highlight the purple piece. Then we're going to get rid of that little sliver right there. Then let's highlight our yellow piece and go down to Contour. And then we're going to get rid of that little piece right there. And then we're going to click the purple piece, hold the Shift key and click on the green piece, and then go down to the bottom and click on Slice. Then let's highlight the purple piece, go down to Contour, and then let's get rid of that little sliver right there. And then highlight the yellow piece, Contour, and let's get rid of that little sliver. And now we can grab it all. Go down to the bottom, click on Weld, and then highlight our welded piece, and then go to Contour, hide all contours, and then we have this piece here. We are going to resize it for our card. We are going to make it 5.484 by 3.129. I have my X at 1 and then my Y at 0.973. Then let's go to Shapes. We're going to get a score line. We are going to make that score line 1.485. We're going to rotate it 354.71 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.288 and our Y at 2.588. Then we can right click, duplicate that score line. We're going to rotate it 5.29 degrees. We're going to place the X at 6.054 and the Y at 2.592. Then let's right click, duplicate that score line. We're going to rotate it back to 0. We're going to make it 2.445. Then we need to rotate it to 88.05. We're going to place the X at 3.713 and the Y at 1.355. Then let's get another score line. We're going to make it 2.663. We're going to rotate it 66.46 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.278 and the Y at 1.495. Then we can right click, duplicate that score line. We're going to rotate it 294.86 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.819 and the Y at 1.507. Then we can grab everything and then go down to the bottom and click on Attach. and then we can move this piece aside. Now let's go to shapes. We're going to get a half circle. We're going to make it 0.264 by 2.137. We're going to rotate it 58.21 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.504 and the Y at 5.815. Then we can right click, duplicate that half circle. Then we're going to rotate it 58.21 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.412 and the Y at 5.715. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then we're going to take this piece here and save it. Now let's go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 0.027 by 2.117. We're going to rotate it 355.01 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.472 and the Y at 1.449. Then we can right click, duplicate that square again. We're going to rotate it 228.13 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.587 and the Y at 1.754. Then let's go to shapes. We're going to get a triangle. We're going to make it 0.405 by 0.555. We're going to rotate it 344.68 degrees. We'll place the X at 2.337 and the Y at 1.915. Then we're going to get another triangle. We're going to adjust it to 0.516 by 0.555. We'll rotate it 336.56 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.406 and the Y at 1.764. Then we can right click, duplicate that triangle. We'll just rotate it 337.9 degrees. We'll place the X at 2.618 and the Y at 1.628. Then we'll right click, duplicate that triangle again. We'll rotate it 337.9 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.893 and the Y at 1.505. Then our last triangle, we need to make it 0.475 by 0.511. Let's rotate it 349.17 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.236 and the Y 1.438. Then let's get a square, and we're going to make it 0.043 by 0.5. We're going to place the X at 3.651 and the Y at 1.015. Then we're going to get a half circle. We're going to make it 0.264 by 2.137. Rotate it 58.21 degrees. We'll place the X at 1.873 and the Y at 1. Let's go ahead and get this piece here we set aside. We are going to rotate it 194.61 degrees. Let's place our X at 1 and our Y at 1.21. Grab this line here and our U-shaped piece, our yellow piece. Grab them both, and then we're going to go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then let's highlight our stick and then go to contour. And then we're going to get rid of this top piece here. And then let's click on the yellow piece, go to contour, and then we'll get rid of this end here. And then click on our stick again, and then our slanted stick that's going up by our teeth. And then we're going to click on slice, and then we'll click on this long piece here, and we're going to get rid of this bottom. And then let's click on our other stick, and then we're going to get rid of that little piece right there. And then let's click on our little peach piece and hold our shift key down and click on our blue piece and go down to the bottom and click on slice. And then click on our peach piece And then we're going to get rid of that little snippet right there. And then we can grab it all and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And then let's highlight it and go to Contour and then hide all contours. And then what I want you to do is grab this piece. We're going to right click, duplicate, and we're going to set this aside because we're going to need it for another piece later. Now we're going to take our orange piece and we are going to make it 2.195 by 2.171. Our X and our Y should be at 1. Then we're going to go get a circle. We're going to make it 0.332 by 0.332. Our X we're going to place at 1.53 and our Y at 1.302. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. Okay, so now what we're going to do is highlight this piece we just made. We're going to go up and unlock it. And I want you to make it the width 31. I'm sorry, make the width 3.157 by 1.652. And then our eye, let's just go to shapes and we're going to get a circle. We're going to make it 0.114 by 0.111 and it'll go right inside this circle here. Then let's grab them both and go up to the top and group them. Then we're going to right click, duplicate, and then we are going to go up to the top to flip horizontal. And then we have our two pieces here. And we can group them and go ahead and move them aside. Now we're going to take these two pieces we saved and we're going to place for our red piece the X and the Y at 1. Then we are going to take this shape and it is going to be 1.824 by 1.174. Rotate it 289.33 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.583 and the Y at 1.433. Then we're going to grab them both, go down to the bottom and click on Slice. Then let's highlight this little tip out here and then go down to Contour and we're going to hide that piece right there. This little tip right there, and it's going to be over in our layers panel. It should look something like this. We're going to right click, delete, and then we're going to highlight our red piece, and then we're going to get rid of the teeth here. And then let's grab everything and go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And we should have a piece that looks like this. So now we're just going to take our piece here and we are going to rotate it 24.12 degrees. And we are going to change our width to 2.448 and our height should be 2.407. And then what we can do is change that to gray, and then we can right click, duplicate, and then flip horizontal, and these are two pieces we can group together and go ahead and move those aside. Go to shapes. We're going to get a half circle. We are going to make that half circle 0.707 by 2.999. We're going to rotate it 143.14 degrees. We're going to place the X at 9.167 and the Y at 1.144. Then we can right click, duplicate that half circle. We're going to place the X at 9.034 and the Y at 1.22. Then we're going to grab them both and click on Slice. And then this piece we're going to right click, duplicate, and then we are going to adjust it to 2.125 by 3.023. We're going to rotate it 0.63 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.397 and the Y at 2.973. Then let's go to shapes and get a triangle. We're going to make it 1.812 by 2.117. We're going to rotate it 10.03 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.76 and the Y at 3.209. Then we can right click, duplicate. We're going to rotate it 7.23 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.161 and the Y at 3.651. Then we can right click, duplicate, but we need to adjust the width to 1.585 and the height to 2.393. Let's rotate it 0.78 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.571 and the Y at 3.832. Then we can right click, duplicate that orange triangle. We're going to place the X at 4.055 and the Y at 4.037, and we're going to rotate it back to 0. Then we can right click, duplicate that triangle. We're going to place the X at 4.569 and the Y at 4.172. Then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 5.388 by 0.332. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 5.252 and the Y at 0.839. Then we can right click, duplicate that square, and we're going to adjust it to 4.638 by 2.029 for the height. We're going to rotate it 331.77 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.097 and the Y at 0.234. Okay, now let's do some cleaning up. Let's click on our red U-shaped piece and our first yellow triangle there. And we're going to click on slice down at the bottom. And then let's click on our red piece, and then we're going to go to contour, and then we're going to get rid of this bottom piece. And then we can click on our purple piece and our peach piece and click on slice. And then let's highlight our purple piece and then go down to contour, and then we're going to get rid of that little piece right there. And then let's highlight our purple piece and our yellow triangle, and we're going to slice it. Then let's highlight our purple piece, go to contour, and get rid of this little piece right there. And then let's highlight our purple piece and our peach piece and click on slice. And then highlight the peach piece, and we'll go down to contour, and then we're going to get rid of this chunk. And then we can highlight our yellow piece and go to contour, and then we're going to get rid of this piece. And then let's click on our brown triangle, and then we're going to go over and just hide our brown triangle. And then what we're going to do is, oh, I think we have one more piece here. Let's click on the square, click on our red piece and our square and go to slice. And then we're going to highlight our red piece and then go down to contour. And that little bitty piece there we're going to get rid of. Then let's grab everything and we're going to weld it together. We're not going to move anything, but we're going to go back over to our layers panel and we're going to find that triangle that we hid. And then we'll bring it back up, and then we're going to grab both pieces and click on slice, and then highlight our brown piece, go to contour, and then we're going to get rid of that little piece right there. And then we're going to grab everything, and then we're going to click on weld. What I'm going to do is highlight it, go to contour, and then hide all contours. And then we are going to right click, duplicate, and then flip horizontal. And we're going to place one piece, the X and the Y, at 1. And then our other piece, we're going to place the X at 5.486 and our Y at 1.002. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And then we have this piece here. Then we are going to adjust our yellow piece to 4.443 and the height should adjust it to 3.136. And we're going to place the X and the Y at 1. Then we're going to go to Shapes and get a score line. We're going to make it 2.359. We're going to place the X at 3.228 and the Y at 1.426. Then we're going to get another score line. We are going to make it 2.247. We're going to rotate it 62.96 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.218 and the Y at 1.348. Then we can right click, duplicate that score line. We're going to adjust it to 2.313. We're going to rotate it to 297.04. We're going to place the X at 3.221 and the Y at 1.33. Then we can grab everything and then go down to the bottom and click Attach. And then we can move this piece aside. Alright guys, now let's go to Shapes and we're going to get a square. We're going to make it 6.486 by 0.587. Let's rotate it 331.77 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.191 and the Y at 1. Then let's get another square. We're going to make it 7.858 by 0.484. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 6.539 and the Y at 1.063. Then this shape we set aside. Let's take it and we're going to adjust it to 3.099 by 4.408. Let's rotate it 0.63 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and the Y at 3.71. Then we can right click, duplicate. We're going to adjust it to 3.245 by 4.471. Rotate it 149.11 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.227 and the Y at 5.196. Now let's do some cleaning up. We're going to highlight the yellow piece and our purple piece, and we're going to click on Slice. Let's click on the purple piece, and we're going to get rid of this piece and this little piece. And then let's click on our yellow piece and get rid of those two little pieces. So it should be nice and clean looking like that. Then let's highlight our purple piece and our red piece and go down to the bottom and click on Slice. Let's highlight our red piece, go to Contour, and then we're going to get rid of that piece there. Then let's highlight our red piece and our blue piece and click on Slice. Let's highlight our red piece, go to Contour, and then we're going to get rid of this bottom piece. And let's click on our yellow piece, Shift, and our blue piece. Go down to our layers and click on Slice. Highlight our yellow piece, Contour, and then we'll get rid of this bottom piece we want gone. And then our last piece is our blue piece. Click on Contour, and let's get rid of that piece right there. One more thing we need to do is click back on our purple piece, and then we need to get rid of this end piece. There we go. And then we should have this. Then let's grab everything and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And then we can highlight it, go down to Contour, and hide all contours. Now we have this piece here. Now we're just going to adjust it to 1.797 by 2.235. And when you change the width, it should change the height to the 2.235. This piece goes inside of our mouth here. And we're going to need 4 of these. So let's right click, duplicate. And then we need to make one red. And then we'll do the bottom one as gray. And then we can right click, duplicate. And while this one's highlighted, go up to the top and we're going to click on flip horizontal. And then the same thing for the bottom. Right click, duplicate. And then we're going to flip horizontal. And then we can group these together and move these pieces aside. Okay guys, now what we can do is go over to where you've been saving your pieces and setting them aside. And we're going to get one of these fins here. Adjust it to 2.442 and it should have changed your height to 0.971. Then we're going to rotate it 65.17 degrees. We're going to place the X at 0.722 and the Y at 1.275. Then let's right click, duplicate, and then we're going to go up and flip horizontal. Rotate it 288.9 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.728 and the Y at 1.067. And then we're going to grab them both and click on weld. Okay guys, one last thing before we go. I forgot to put, I do believe, the score line in this piece. So if you can go grab that piece real quick. And then once you get it, we're going to place the X and the Y at 1. And then we'll get a score line and we're going to make it 0.945. We're going to place the X at 3.742 and then the Y at 1.425. And then we can grab everything again and click on attach. So here are all our basic pieces we need to make this pop-up card. These are the colors that I will be using. This top piece, I usually do a lighter or darker color from these other pieces. So don't forget to go up and name your project, and don't forget to save it and add any additional pieces that you would like to add. And let's go ahead and get our pieces cut out, and then I'll meet you at the craft table. I'll see you there. Okay guys, what we can do is go ahead and we can fold our score line and then put our pretty paper on. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, since we have our card done, why don't we get all of our pieces to our shark. And this is the first piece we're going to be working on. I'm just kind of matching mine out, putting them in sets. Now that we got all of our pieces, what we can do is work our score lines on this piece, and we have the 2 slanted ones, the tab up at the top and the 2 tabs on the side. So all of these are going to be mountain folded, so why don't we go ahead and work those score lines. So this tab we're just gonna bring over to this side, and we're gonna put glue on it and then adhere it to that side like so. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we should have a piece that looks like this. So why don't we put this piece down and get our 2 white pieces and
these two pieces here. So this piece will go on like so. So let's go ahead and glue that on. And on this piece, your edge at the top is what you need to line the gray piece up to the white piece. So it should look something like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do our other piece. Alright, so we have these two pieces done. And then what we can do is you're going to line your teeth up on your teeth of your sharp base here. So it's going to set like that. So if you want, we can go ahead and do that. Do not put glue on your eye, just on everything below the eye. Again, lining your teeth up on your gray teeth is how you will make sure it's on correctly. And then what I do is just snip the back of it off like that so it's even. And then we can just do the same thing to our other side. Okay, so that's what mine is looking like. And I want you to see it from the inside too. And then I'm just gonna snip this little bit that hangs off past the back here. So if I put my flaps in, that's what it's looking like after I snip my backs off, okay? And then before we go on, I'm gonna get my little eyes and put my eyes on here. I chose to use vinyl. Okay, now let's get this white piece, and we're going to work the middle score line and then the two score lines on the side. And while we have the middle score line folded, if you want to go, I'm going to say pretty deep, like so, and cut that so it's at more of an angle there. And then you can do the two ends. I like to fold it the other way so I can see my score line on this side. But I'm going to cut about that much off on it. Now we're going to take our red pieces and put them on, and they will go on like that. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to turn it over, and then we're going to put our gray pieces on. Okay, now that we got that done, we're going to turn it so our red piece is facing us, our red side. And we are going to take this piece and work our score line. And then on this big triangle end, those we are going to take and glue it like so. Okay? So we're just going to put a little glue on this and then fold it to it. And you should have something looking like this. And now we can just do this other side over here. Then once it's glued, that's what it should be looking like. Okay. Then our last piece is very simple. We are going to take our tabs on the ends, on the sides I guess I should say, and we are just going to glue them like so. Just line them up and glue the tab down. And we'll do that on both sides. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's how it looks on that side. And then on this side, that's what it's looking like. Okay. Now we're just going to put a little glue on this tab and then fold it down like so. So let's do that. So now we should have something looking like this. And you can go ahead and lay it flat, like down, and make sure it's laying nice and flat. And then let's get our card. And you can put it anywhere as long as you're not going past the edge of your card. And you're gonna bump this red piece up in your score line, like so. And then once you have it where you want it, I think I'm good with mine here, you're gonna just take and put glue anywhere on the red and this gray tab and the white tab, or whatever color you decided to do your shark. And then once you have it, the glue on it, you're just gonna shut it. And then we can actually just go ahead and turn it over and do the same thing on this side. And then once you think it's dry, make sure it's dry, you can open it up. Isn't that cool? I love it. Now, for the fins, it can go anywhere down here that you would like. So I'm gonna just set mine like that. And that's what it would look like. And you just glue them down like so. And then again, for this piece, you can either do it as the fin of the shark or his tail. And I snip off some of mine back here and I fold it if you're gonna do his tail. And then you just place it anywhere in the middle So you want it to go down for right there. So about like that. And then you would just glue it down. But I'm going to go ahead and go finish up my card, and then I'll be back to show you what I came up with. I'll see you in just a second. Okay guys, so this is what I came up with. I just kind of did a water scene with a shark fin and some birds and sun. It says, "You are fantastic." And then of course we open it up and we have our our shark, which I think turned out great. That's what it looks like underneath. And then another card that we can display very nicely. And then of course on the back we have a place where we can write a message. And I just think this turned out really nice, guys. I would love to see your work. As always, you can always email me, and the email address is below, or you can post it to me on my TikTok if you want, or I'm trying to do Instagram too. But do you guys know, what do you call a seagull that flies over the bay? Give up? A bagel. Guys, I just want to thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping. Bye.